The Genshu released the first wave of facts later about June 2026, the 17th June 2026. So we can see the ones later about the new Battletome of the Age of Slaanesh that it's going to be released this month. So about the Regiment Renown of the Age of Slaanesh and the Spearhead, remember that you can find the download in the part about the Warhammer community section for Age of Sigmar, so that are for free, so you can consult them without a problem. We see fast about the Battletome supplement Artisans of Slaanesh, because there are some things to see about the models that are going to be dismissed and moved soon to Legends. So then we can see a little fast about the battle profiles as of Slaanesh to understand really an overview, because to understand what has been changed and point and so on. So now we go to see about such things. So let's start with the Battletome supplement of the Edges of Slaanesh. Here we can see that we have the cover of the Battletome of the previous edition, the third one, that it's still amazing. Then we can see about the contents. Here we can see that here there will be this model still available as validity in tournament till the 1st June 2027. Then they will be moving to Legends, so we have another year to play with them. Then we can see the model that we're going to see those dismisses. So we had the Bladebringer on the Held on Exalted Child. That essentially it's a pity because it's really quite an amazing model. We have the Hellflyers and the Hellstriders. Sincerely, okay, about the Hellstrider, it's a pity because I always liked the model, not the rider, but the mount, it's amazing. So it's a pity to see them dismissed from the battlefield. I hope that in the future will coming back. And then we had the Secret Chariot, we're seeing the hero version, okay? Here, sincerely, it's a pity because I always liked such one. It's really quite amazing one. Okay, we see maybe another one that will come to substitute this. It's a pity because it's really quite a good vibe and appreciable. Still, okay. So let's go to see about the battle profiles. And now let's see about the battle profile for the Age of Slaanesh for July 2026, but I said that it was June, and you've seen that it's about June, okay? Still going to be released this Battletome at the end of June. Maybe they wanted to have yet a foresight about July, okay? Still, okay, take note about such things. Here we can see the part about the things that are going to be moved as Warhammer Legend the 1st June 2027. We've seen before, but anyway, it's good to see these ones applied here. Then we can see about the new models that are going to be inside. So we can see the Lord of Hysteria and the Threshold Discord. And it's inside also here the new Scourge of Axis. So we can start to see that the Scourge of Gina is going to be removed and it's going to be substituted with the Scourge of Axis. And I'm quite curious to know about the rules because we know about the points, okay, before to know about the rules. Strange, but okay. We can see, for example, also about the points. Here we have the Infernal and Arturus that costs 90 points here, and instead, if you go to see about the normal points, it's 100 points. So we can see some things we can start to think about, because remember that this will be related about the General and book 26-27. And remember that in a way you can still play with the previous one. Still, there are going to be a change about the background rules and so on about the missions. So you have to pay attention about such things. We can see also the Scourge of Axis that it's with the Blitzbard Seekers. Okay, so it's really quite intriguing. Also here we can see a bit. It's strange we see about in the future. Okay, but nice to know about such things. And here we can see also the part about the things that are going to be added. And here we can see quite a lot of things. So we can see about the battle formations on related about also actually. It's intriguing to see about this all-consuming obsession. Maybe it's something new to personalize your own models to be nice. We'll see about when they're going to be released. So not bad at all anyway. Okay, nice. I don't like that there is an artifact power that costs point. This it's not a good thing. I never liked two artifact power because also we had the one that it's the Crown of Slaanesh and the Road of Misrule. Then we had the part about the misclassed revelers that are the Regiment Unknown. Here it's intriguing cost. Here okay, are the same that are the cost of the two different units, so not bad at all. Instead, the one that you can save a lot, it's the acoustic reflection, because it's 150 points as it is for the contort epitome themselves. So it means that you can save quite a lot of points on the other points. It's interesting also to see that you can take in this regiment known as forces for the chaos. So okay, nice. Okay, it's not bad at all. Other than corn, it's something that you have to notice about. So there is a bit of anonymity about. So not bad at all. And sometimes you try to cheat, because do you see some peculiar note in this image that the upper part is different from the bottom part, but the date are the same? Because yes, you added not saying anything, and sincerely you don't need to add the real date, okay? The Battletome supplement of the City of Sigmar updated. It's not a problem, because we see in the part about the fact when they are going to be released what has been changed and so on. Still, really, it's so difficult to make the date the real one, because it's really quite not good to see some, okay, I added this one, but you haven't noticed. No, you can see that it's something that there is different, okay? Still, okay, take note. And now we continue. And then you release the 29 June 2026, the main part about the facts for June. Remember that there will be also the release about the Scourge of Akshi that will go to substitute the Scourge of Giran, as we've seen in the part about Slaanesh. So we'll talk about that one. Here we can see so that has been updated quite a lot of parts. So about the faction pack of the Seraphon and Phasilias, there's been some adjustments. So here we see about that. About the Dark Water Hero Wars course, it's changed only a keyword, but it was to be updated everything. Okay. Then about the Legend Wars course, remember that a lot of units has been brought and moved to the Legends, for example, from the Subrag Guilds. So now we see about them being moved down. And then we had about the Spearhead, about the Hedonites of Slaanesh, that it's different from the one that we've seen before. Here there's been a little adjustment, okay, there's been so reprinted about that one. And then we can see the two main parts, the rules update and the battle profiles. I'll go to see about these ones, focusing on only the part about the changes. So about the rules update, there's been a little changes, but in a lot of different parts. So we see about that one. And about the battle profiles, there's been a calibration about the points of armies. So here we go to see about those ones, a really fast overview. Remember that the most part about the additional things that has been brought, other than the change for the units, is the part about the Scourge of Akshi. And we see that they're really quite healing points, okay, those ones for the most part. So now let's go to start to see about the rules updates. So let's start with the rules update about June for the Age of Sigmar 4th edition Skaventide. Remember that I'll talk only about the updates. If you're interested about the previous fact, I invite you to see in the link in the description about the previous update, so that each time I only focus about what has been changed. So let's start. And strangely, the thing that you can find for first, it's about the chorus with an addendum that it's about the charge moves, so that you add the following. Some rules reference a unit finishing or ending a charge move. This is considered to occur when a charge move ability that unit used resolve, and the unit has charge as part of the ability. I think that it was obvious, but if it avoids any misunderstanding, okay, nice. Simply remember that so you can apply this effect about finishing or ending a charge move only if you made a charge move, only it. And there is also another new fact about the chorus, so that if an ability references a qualifier that multiply objects are tied for example, the awakened wildwood that using the evergrowing ability, what happens? The player will use the ability choose which object to affect. Okay, really? Really, you need the fuck for something that you know that you have to select one, and you can only apply to one. Okay, still avoid any misunderstanding, it's okay, but you really needed it. Okay, still there is, so now no problem at all. And then some facts about the course that I completely don't agree with. So the first one is about the persistent effect that applies to a unit that is destroyed, and another ability allows that unit to return to the battlefield. Does this persistent effect apply to the return unit? And they say yes, it should be not, because technically it should be another different unit. The one that has been destroyed and the one that come back are not the same technically. So this I not agree. And reinforced effect, because do persisting effects continue to apply to a unit that has been destroyed? Yes. Okay, maybe it's referred about specific effects, I don't know, but sincerely, not a good thing. And then terrain control. If a player control a piece of terrain, can a unit be counted towards contesting a different piece of terrain while still maintaining control of the first piece? And okay, still it's a bit problematic, but not, because here it's talking about control a piece of terrain and contest a piece of terrain. So you can control one and still contest another one. So it's two different things. You can't control two pieces of terrain at the same time, but you can control one and contest another one. So this is an enforcement about something that we yet know. So okay, to take note. Then has some data about the spearhead Fahrenheit. This it's about the Hedonites of Slaanesh. Remember the document that we've seen before? Okay. Here it says what has been changed. So about the blades of the lurid dream, it made remove once per turn from the timing bar of the locus of diversion. Okay. Then there is another thing that has been changed about the Fahrenheit, and it's about an additional fact. So if a rule requires more friendly models than the enemy models to be contesting a terrain feature, for example the Giran, Twist, Take the Land, and so on, should I use the control scores of my units contesting that terrain feature? Yes, in that case, that rules should be treated in the same way as determine control of a terrain feature. So, okay, you take note about. So here it counts the control and not the real number of models. So, okay, we take note about such things. Then we have a little bit about Spearhead City of Ash. So it added that are relics counted as terrain features for abilities such as Strike and Fade? I say no. So, okay, you take note. The relics are relics, nothing else. And so we can start with the faction pack updates. So here we can see the deleting about the City of Sigmar, and it was obvious because has been listed the new Battletome, so there is not anymore valid about the faction pack. Remember anyway that there is the supplement of the City of Sigmar that it's quite interesting. Here we can see about the files list that has seen before we've seen the document updated, and here we can see what has been changed. So about the rune of Farsight and about the Auric rune Mister. Okay. About the Hedonites of Slaanesh, remember that has been released in these days the new Battletome about the Hedonites of Slaanesh. So the next month this will disappear. So they are technically not anymore valid yet. Then we can see also the Ogmore tribes. Remember that soon we see them disappear because has been announced the part about in the part about the big summer preview, the new Ogmore tribes Battletome. So in 1 or 2 months these are not anymore valid, but okay, for now they're still valid till the release of the Battletome of the Ogmore tribes. Then we can see about the Seraphon, again the part about the update here. So a change about the grid plan and the further grid plan. So about it works. There are minor changes, okay, you take note because there are not so many things. Here it's quite interesting instead about the part about the Eternal Host / translocation ability, because it delete the roll dice on a free blast. So it means that it's for sure applied. So this it's quite important as change. Then we can start to see that everything else is practically the same. So here it's still quite intriguing. About the other digital downloads, we had to say something about, because there's been about an update that we've seen and alternated that has been reprinted, or better, recharged. We've seen that they mistaken about the, or cheated the part about the date. So about the Battletome Supplement City of Sigmar. So here it's more related about replace the human keyword with the Sigmarite keyword, okay, and having a little change about the keyword the size. So it's really an update, really quite stupid because they could have done from the beginning, but okay, we take note about such thing. Then we can see here another thing that has been changed. It's about the display of Zinch. Okay, so we take note about. Okay, if you're interested, you know that has been updated such part. So for the most part, as you can see, they remain practically the same about. So there's been, okay, a change about here. Again, what we can say, it's about the part about the heroes of the Jade Abbey. Okay, so the heroes that are water, and here again a change about the keyword. It's simply a simple thing, okay? It's really quite easy to take note. Then you can see that has not been another things, but we can start with the Battletomes about the change. So about the Blades of Corn, here has been changed the timing of the Chisels of Violence to once per turn army any combat phase. Okay, you take note about. It's a minor change, but it could be quite important. Okay. Then we can see about the parts reality of the City of Sigmar. Here, sincerely, I find this a bit too much because it's new, okay? You could simply read, because here, okay, see what has been done. The most part are little things that could be done from the beginning. For example, the part about the Frigate Grenadier Champion. You really need to make that you forgot about adding the champion 1 to 10? Really? Okay. So here it's mean that it doesn't have quite a good work in reviewing, because there are some things here that should be really okay. And also changing the allies of the free cities, the rooster, it's something that you should not done when it's new, okay? It's about the here other digital downloads, it to have a referral again, because this one's technically you have yet seen, okay? Still not a good thing. For example, also here Erasmus Zone change completely the rules. It's not a good way, in my opinion. There are really some things, there are not too many, okay, but I don't like that there has been with new Battletome so many new things changed. I think that it's not a good way. Okay, here there is a specification about the overheating for the part of the model that it's quite important, because here a heat token more for each plus, so understand about this, it's better. And obviously it's fair about the comfort, okay, mainly. Then we can go about the Dr. Kane, that it's new also this one, but we've seen some change. Here, one thing to see, because you can see that has been removed the fact here and has been brought up in the battle trait. It's simple and moving, okay? It was the fact that it was added, that it was said that it was redundant, so it's better to add in the battle trait directly. It's simply that one. Okay, again, that they forgot about the champion 1 to 10 instead of champion. Again, the same mistake that we've seen for the City of Sigmar. Not a good thing. At least there are a few things. Battleship of Singe, here we can see a change about the Army of Renown. Okay. And a new fact that you can take related about the Jade Obelisk. Then we can see the Flash course has not changed at all, and I'm quite good about this one. The Grunspet Kids change the part that add a battle trait. So, okay, not bad to have something added. Always good thing to have something additional. Then we can go to see that about the facts, nothing else. About the Esmith shoot, here has been a quite big change, because here has been changed the reserve of the morning power. So if this is really that all the text is been changed with give to the morning power points, it's really quite important, because before there was some limitation about having 3 or less. Now you give. Wow, really quite good for the ones that play the Smith of Shoot, really quite welcome. Okay, strange, but okay. And here we can see that has been deleted this part that it was still present. Okay, they simply forgot to delete, and I said in the previous FAQ, now they done, so okay, they simply removed, not a problem. Then we can see about the Idonid Deepkin, that's a new battle trait. Okay, you take note if you test about, because I think that it's really quite intriguing. Then we can see the Battletome Caradon Overload, that doesn't see any change at all. The Battletome Luminate Lord, okay, update about the Light of Eltarium, we see this, I think, change quite a lot in the future. Then we can see some other things related about the Siege of Indra and the Army of Renown. We take note about such things. The Magotion Argol, here it's about changing timing, so I think that it's more like updating, provisioning about the release of the related about the Scourge of Akshi. So okay, we can note, as you can see, it's really some little changes anyway, so quite fast to learn. Net out are free, okay. Orux, okay, change the sneaky, okay, and the part about the timing for the Gosprak. And again, here a little change also for the Curse Boys, we take note. As you can see, they are really almost the same about, so a little updating about the same timing or the same things. And then about the Ossak Boripes, here I was really quite satisfied, because about the Kavlos War Chariot, here it's make that change the sentence so that you can gain a lot, because it made a power up so that removing the rolling dice for being wholly within the 12 inch of Elige Kavlos on a War Chariot. Before it was always that you had to roll a dice, even if you were really close or not. Here, be sure that you can play such units and be for sure it's really quite nice. They've had about the Lich Mortek, and here add at the end of everything any combat phase. So it's the same technically as Fat Apply, is simply more clarified. Okay, we take note about. Then we can see about the Battletome Skaventide. Here they changed about the Warp Ambush ability, that will be really quite important, I think. About the Clue Road, again, the change about the timing and the audio effect. Okay, the effect master add a bit about dwarf 6 plus to the key. There are really few things, even if the add dwarf 6 plus, it's not a few. Okay, it's a really quite important one. Again, nothing has changed here. About the Sleep to Darkness, here we can see the change about the Peripheral Ruin ability. Then we can see nothing has changed here. About the Battletome Super keyword, here there's been a change about the Unholy Reckoning. But here it's simply a rephrasing, okay? You can see that it's changed, but it doesn't change. It's simply that it's better understandable like this. It's better explained like this, okay? Then the Storm Castellanos, you can see that hasn't any change. About the silhouette, we can see the change ability about Merciless Ambush. Okay, we take note. And again, nothing much changed, so it's really quite a little updating. Ravage Ghost remained the same, so not bad at all. Blighted Whites, here has been changed about the landmark of Giran, Curator upgrades, and I'm quite curious because I think that soon there will be release of another book of the Path to Glory, because we've seen about the one related about Giran, so these that are seen the Scourge of Akshi should see also the list about a new one, it's about Akshi. So okay, we can see. So not bad. Now it's time to see instead about the points. And now it's time for the battle profiles for June 2026. Remember that I'll make an overview about the things, the points. If you're interested about specific one, go to see about this document to see your army so that you can reflect slowly. About the city of Sigmar, they have the same points that we've seen last month about. They are simply being included in this document, okay? But has been added the part about the Scourge of Akshi part, so they substitute the Scourge of Giran. And here we can see that there will be a strange situation because there are a few times that see the Scourge of Akshi parts that cost less than the normal version. So for example, we have the Ultimate Warforged, it's 100 point here and it's 130 point normally. For the Nesta, it's 190 point in the normal version and 160 point here, so a bit strange. Okay, I'm quite curious about the new things that has been brought with the part about the additional things that you have. We can see that about the Scujo actually there is this decoration for value. I'm quite curious because you had to pay to Adam, but it could be added so that you can personalize even more. We had to see about what are related about, so I'm quite curious. We know the points before to know the rules, but okay. About the Doctor's King, here we can see that there's seen quite a lot of change in the chart, even quite a heavy one. Okay, you can know about this. Here, what I said you about, so the Scujo actually, it costs more than the normal version. So the Melusai Iron Scale is normal 110 and the Scujo actually version 140 point. Okay, about the here the Scujo actually Black Heart costs the same that it was before the increase on points of the normal version, so it's a bit strange, limit to 1, okay. Anyway, here I think that the Doctor Skin will not quite happy about. Again, here we can see some personalization, at least now in this case the Boon of Shadow that are the personalization, okay. Here doesn't cost points, so I think that it's nice in such a way. First layer see quite a lot of change in point about the chart and they will be quite happy about. And here we can see, for example, the Scujo Auric Son on Magmadrot. And here we can see how much is the difference because it's 330 point for the Scujo Akshi and 240 point for the normal one. So I'm quite curious about to see if they are so worth about such amount of points. Okay, also here some other little decrease on point. We take note. And the working frame secret then are the same amount that it was before the discount. Okay, we take note. First layer, okay, you can see, and there has been quite a lot of things because here we can see the mark of Vultercatrix and also a bit expensive, some of these. The updated player lore, okay, but it's technically new. Okay, anyway, we have also this one available for the Scourge of Akshi. Then we can see about the identity picking that see quite a few things that has been changed. We had to take note about such things eventually. Again, we can see that in this case, the part about the Scourge of Action is cheaper than the normal version for the Namarti Rivers, but it's not common about. Again, we can see that there's been some additional parts. For example, this case are the TSC companion. I think that is the same things for everyone, but change the name based on the army that are later about. But I'm really quite curious about the card overload. Some little change, we take note. But here, wow, see the Scourge of Action Chemist. It's 200 points and the normal one 120. Wow, really quite intriguing as a change. We take note. So little change about here, there are some, but you have to take notice. Here we can see again that there is the Skujak part with the article reference that it's technically the personalized version. I'm really quite curious about knowing what they confer, if it's an improved option so that you can personalize even more. There you can see here for the limited reload that are some that gain and some that lost. Okay, you take note. And it's really quite okay to see about. Here you can see, for example, that the Aralit Stone Mage is 150 points for the Scourge of Action and it's 120 points for the normal one. So you have to see step by step which one you are intrigued, because they can change quite a lot. For example, the Lord Seeker normal 130, the Scourge of Action 160, and that's little point, but could be important. Okay. Also here quite a lot of variation, because there are the Aralit Spirit of Mind that is 30 points less, other that gain and loss. Okay. Here it will be really the most part is to study based on the Scourge of Action, because they could change quite a lot. For example, I prefer a lot to use the Scourge of Giran version for a lot of unit in a lot of my armies. So I'm quite curious to see if will change also about this one. About the Seraphon, quite a lot of change about points. Lord Cook 30 points less. Not bad. The Astrolith Bearer, it's 20 points less. It's a must have. So, wow, okay. The Saurus of Blood on Carnosaur, 20 points less. Welcome. So, also the Trogodon, 10 points less. And the Skistar 20 points less. Welcome. Here we can see also some other change. For example, for the Scourge of Action. So, the Scarus Veteran on Agadon. Here it's 130 points for the version that it's the version on the Scourge of Action, and 140 points, so you gain something. And if you think about the Slam Master, here we can see that here it's 230 points for the Scourge of Action and 260 points for the normal one. So there are some options that you can see that you can save points with the Scourge of Action option, but it's not so common, believe me. It's for the most part. At least we had the Lord of Celestial Manipulation that had been made that it's 0. So now it's saving a bit for one that it's really quite intriguing to play with. So we can see that a lot of things remain the same or you gain for the Seraphon. So not bad. Stomach Satanas here, as usual, they're going down with the prices. Okay. So we have to see which one we are going to use, because for the most part remain the same. Then here, for example, for the Hidden, the Witness, okay, it's 360 points for the Scourge of Action. Instead, if you see about Hidden here, okay, we can move up. We can see that it's 260 points, so quite a lot of different for the Scourge of Action version. And again, we can save quite a lot anyway. It's up to you decide if it's worth or not, which one to use. But okay. Here we have the Cement area going up, Arch Revenant going down. So here you have to see which one you prefer, because it's really simple. But for example, for the troops, it's heavy, because a lot of them increase the points. So not a good thing, in my opinion. So okay, take note about. Again, here the aspect of the deep wood, so the things that are for the Scourge of Action. And you can see that the Scourge of Action, see, for the most part you have to pay a bit. So okay, take note. Corn, something that goes up on the Scarband. Okay, it's not something quite important, but a lot of heroes here go down, so nice. Even a small amount, but it's always quite welcome. So here it's up to you decide if you're interested about. Because some things are the same, for example, blood letters 150, so not a problem. And instead, the Scourge of Ashi Blood Warriors, it's 190, so 10 points more than the Blood Warriors, normal ones. Okay, simply pay attention about, because it's quite intriguing. This about siege, some goes down, some goes up, so it's up to you decide based on what you are going to play with. So here we can see, for example, an important different points. So for example, the Thaumaturge, it's 110 point normal version, 210 points the Scourge of Hakshi. It's 100 point of different. Oh, quite heavy. Okay, also here again we can see that some things has been changed. For example, the artifact power carry tome that has been an up in point, 20 point. It's quite heavy as up. Hedonites of Slaanesh, here it's something new. Okay, here I'm quite curious, but I had to compare these ones to the ones that I've seen that document list before. So I had to see if they are really the same or not, because it should be included, but I'm quite curious about, because usually they're done the next month about, but we have to see, compare eventually. The estimate of should see a decrease on point, so okay. What is strange here, if you see, it's about the Scourge of Hakshi Demosmith on Infernal Taurus, that it costs more than Uraktar. Okay, a bit too much maybe. Really, this is strange. It's nice to see the decrease of point about the troops, moreover about the Infernal Court with the Ashutite Spears, that it's always become under really quite amazing to play with. So, okay, also here we can see the Anointed Sentinels, that it's more expensive, the Scourge of Hakshi version than the normal one, 170 against 130. Then we can see again here new things that are related about the Scourge of Hakshi too. You can see that it's really to see eventually. For general, it's a decrease on point. Okay, you had the Lord of Blacks that it's up, but also it's based on what you play. Here, some gains, some losses, more losses than gain, but it's up to you to see. So it's something that you have to see. For example, also here, the Scourge of Hakshi Sloven Knights costs more than the Scourge of Hakshi version than the normal one. So they put it Black Kings too, a small one, but you have to pay attention, because you can eventually spend more or you can save a bit. You have to decide which one version to use. The Skaventide see a decrease on point in general. Here we can see, okay, you have to pay attention about what you're interested about, because for the most part are quite similar about the points, the Scourge of Hakshi and the normal version, but there are some change, but it's a small one. Okay, the Corruptor one, it's 50 point of difference. Okay, but because there's been a discount, so you can eventually save a bit. Also here some change again. So in some way the Skaven gained a bit. Then had the Slave to Darkness. Also here some saving point. Also here again about the troops. It depends by what you play, but you can eventually, okay, absorb if you want to play, for example, for the Scourge of Chaos, here the Chaos Warriors, you can see that here 180 points the normal version and 200 points. So eventually you can see from one side and spend in another way. It's based on what you are going to play with. Simply one. Fish the Kurz. Here again, really up the Abhorrent Gold King on Royal Target and Zombie Dragon. For really, okay, you push down the other things. Nagash, I'm not interested at all. 80 point less, okay, but sincerely don't care at all because I don't play it. And now we go down, then we go up. It's really quite strange. Okay, Royal Decapitator remain the same at least. Then we can see some go down, and Royal Target we see, and the Zombie Dragon up again. Okay. The Volguf Courtier, it's 10 point more than the normal version. So we can see that a lot of things changed. At least we can see a bit from the Artifact of Power for the Battletome. So at least that one, because it was a bit too much in some way. So, okay. So we can see a bit eventually. I'm curious about the Scourge of Hakshi version in this case. The Taunt, saving money. Okay. Here, 7 points, okay. Also the part about here, the troops. Okay, here you can see something that it's quite heavy, but we've seen that it was also for the Skujogina, for example, for the Black Coach. Here, 90 point of difference from the normal one and the alternative one. It's quite a lot, I think. Wow. You can see with the split host eventually. Okay. Really, it's something that you have to evaluate step by step. Here for the Osso Boripes, I'm really quite interesting because, for example, the Lich of Kavlos on World Chart, it's down in point. Sincerely, could be going even a bit down. Mortisan Surmason and Surreaper down again. Sincerely, the Surreaper, I think that will decrease even more in the future. So, okay. Here it's interesting about Work Mortian as choose for the Scourge of Action. Sincerely don't care at all, but okay. Then the Cavalry World Chariot again decrease on point. I think that it's due because it's the direct alternative to the Cavalry Staff Rider, so that the cost is the same. I think that it's much better because technically it's something that it's about synergies, what you prefer, but it's something that you have to see. Mortal Sleeper up, okay, with the last facts that clarify a lot of ways, I think that can be understandable. The Necroblade Stalkers, 10 point less, nice, sincerely. And eventually interest because the Scourge Action version of the Mortal Sleeper is the same that it was before, so eventually you can evaluate the option of the Scourge of Action instead of the normal. Here we can see the heroic trait Imperial Width go up, really a pity this one. It would be to see if we have eventually alternatives. Then about the Subagivers, also here going down about the points. The main part about the main chart, but the Necromancer chip, not bad at all. The Vampire Lord on Nightmare Steed and the Golden Lord, okay, nice. And it's interesting, for example, here again, the Scourge of Action Vengorian Lord, because it's 310 points instead of the updated 200 of the normal version. Yeah, a bit heavy. Also some change, and I quite like that Borrow Knight decrease on point. It's nice. The Worked Zombies, not needed, but okay. Revenant Dragonite, welcome. Moreover, you can see the difference of the Scourge Action version, because 290 against 180, a lot again. So you can save quite a lot of money based on what you prefer, but eventually, as you can see, you have to spend quite a lot for the Scourge of Action version. The Gloomspite see a decrease on point in a lot of units, so okay, I think that they will be glad about, because there will be a lot of units that you can save. So it's up to you to decide which one you prefer eventually. So okay. Also here personalization. Iron Jaws, some up, some down. Here it's based on what you prefer, sincerely, because there's nothing that say okay, I really have to have this one. So it's up to you to decide which one it's worth. About the cool boys, also here some saving eventually. Something that you have to study. Ogomore tribes, remember that here it's soon to change when it will be released in the Battletome. But here we can see that we have the new Scourge of Action version. So it doesn't change other than that the presence of the Scourge of Action. So okay, it's more balanced in some way. The Somboemot, see the Crack Eater Mega Garden go down point. Okay, but also here we can see that for example the Gatebreaker, it's the same both Scourge of Action and normal one. So you have really to see which one it's worth. The same we can see for the Crusher Gargant. It's based on the army. For the most part, the parts that change or don't change at all or change quite a lot, heavy on the part about the Scourge of Action. So okay, so here we have done the Regiment Renon. Here we can see that remain practically the same. Okay, so it's something to take note about. Then we have about the part about the legends. So here we can see the things that has been brought to legend. So we have to see which one we are interested about, because there's not a lot, but there are. For example, we have seen about Lord of Conan Juggernaut. It's okay. So some things has been going out, and we have to take notice. Remember that being legend doesn't mean that you can't use, but you can't bring it to official tournament. The Night Hunt with the Carnvrate and Tombashi make me always suffer. Moreover, about the Tombashi, because it's one of my favorite. Then we can see about here the Subagirls that see quite a lot of pieces going here. The most part are related about the Curse City, but there is also the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, and I don't understand why they removed this piece, because I don't understand quite at all. The Brassica Palanquin I never used, I always used other things, the coming from so okay, not a problem. So okay, it's something that you have to see which one you prefer. So to say about such facts and battle profiles, okay, about the facts, the most part are little adjustment, okay, there are some things that I continue not to understand why they done so, because they see something that it's opposite, okay. I continue to not appreciate the fact that some new battles has a bit too much facts, okay, and some of them are stupid. It's simply that they forgot to rewrite what they've written, and still it's anyway quite balanced, because you can see that anyway it's something that doesn't really change the things or so on. They are really quite stable as rules, so I'm really quite satisfied. And about the battle profiles, we've seen quite a lot of difference. The main part it will be related about the part of the Scourge of Action, because this will be the things that will change what will be perceived about the different creating your own rooster, your own armies, and so on. So I'm really quite intrigued to know what will come after, because as I said, the Scourge of Giran was one of my main way to create my rooster, because I used quite a lot of the option about the Scourge of Giran. So I'm quite curious about the Scourge of Action. So we see about them, but I'm really quite intrigued, because think about being able to use the different realms, okay, with different Scourge, and be able to apply, because you choose a realm and you can create an army and so on based on that realm and personalize everything related. Okay, maybe too much balancing done, but it will be a way to change remaining the same. So you have the Battletome, but you have also the option to create your alternative way, alternative options, so that you can play differently when having the same army without waiting for a renewal of the Battletome itself. So I think that it's really quite intriguing. But I'm curious about your opinion. What do you think about such fact, about the points? Are you satisfied? Are you one of the armies that gone out not good with this point battle profiles? I'm quite curious, so write in the comment eventually. Anyway, from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.